for the week and the commitment of traders report for the week. Now we're going to go through the technical analysis for Euro USD following the ECB and NFP numbers. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not indicative of results. So never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So here we are back at Forex.Today. Let me get this out of the way. And now we'll do some technical analysis. This is crude oil. You notice the break below our key numbers here, touching 39 and some change. Whoop, whoop. Okay, and that's the cash price, not the futures contract. Futures is even lower. Oh yeah, euro dollar. Yeah. Let's do that. All right, so let's just go back to what I did. This is the actual chart I did for non-farm payrolls. I think we had 750 people registered for that webinar. Holy smokes, eh? So we traded this live, long. And you can see, let me move this to the right a little bit. Okay, you can see it started to make a series of lower highs, right? Well, first of all, I guess I should mention this. This line here, I kept moving. What it would do is it would come up to resistance, pull back, make a new high, and then I'd draw the line where your stop would be. Then it would come up, make a dip, and make a new high, and then I would move the stop to there. And it did this several times, up to here, move, and move the stop. So if you continued this, I mean, this is a lot of time after non-farm payrolls, you would have moved your stop higher up. I mean, the stop would have been here, and you probably would have been knocked out here if you were just trading price action, right? So what I'm saying is the stop probably would be, let's say, higher high, higher low, higher high. So your stop would have been kind of in here, and that's probably where you would have been stopped out. Okay, if you're just trading short-term price action. But then on these pullbacks, okay, you can see now we're trending down, right? So clearly this is a top. Okay, and you could see that this could have been the beginning of your day too, right? So let's try to line some other information up to this. We're gonna, oh, hang on, let me change the periodicity. Clearly 1 minute's a little short term. Okay. And look what happened. Soon as Auckland, New Zealand opened, this is when the Forex market opens for the very first second. Straight down, Fibonacci retracement, boom. Straight down, Fibonacci retracement, boom. Straight down, double bottom, back up to the resistance. Okay. Moving. All right. So now we're in our zone here. Let's see. I wanted to slice this up a different way. Maybe I should go to a different chart. Hang on. All right. I want to change this. Let's go templates. I'm missing some of my templates. Come on now. Well, then let me do pivot clusters. Maybe it's on here. Yeah, MR1. Yeah, okay. And I think we had a weekly in here, and this is why we topped out. And then here's the monthly R1. Now we're in our new week, okay? So let's use some pivot points here. We're down to a monthly M3 weekly central pivot point. Is there a possibility that that weekly central pivot point acts like a support zone? Yeah, so it's a risk I think you need to pay attention to. Even if you're a bear, you can't sell there, right? I mean, at the very least, you can't sell here. Where were you, you know, a while ago, right? Okay, so now we got to prep here. If that is support, oops, let me get rid of the drawing tool. If that is support, then where is the resistance? Well, if you're going purely on pivot play, if your weekly central pivot point is the bottom of the week, okay, then you're going to R2, and R2 is up here at 1150, I think it is, or 12, 1250, 1250. Okay, so what that pattern is up, okay, down, and then up. It looks like a fib retracement. It can be, certainly can be, but the pivot points are, the week is calculating the high, the low, the close divided by 3, and it's predicting an upward move if you're a bull. Okay, that's the pivot point theory. Now, does it have to do this? No, that's just the calculation, right? Does the pivot point know how the market feels? Right? No. Okay. Couple of things to point out is look at this cluster of weekly and monthly reversal pivot points. It's a big deal. Okay, that's the monthly M4. Okay, monthly M4, weekly R1. Now, monthly M4, MM4, is the conservative target. That's your target. X marks the spot for the month of December. The conservative bullish target. Okay? So if you're a bull, that's where you start taking profit. Okay, your aggressive target for the month is up here. That's R2, MR2. RM2, I guess. But yeah, MR2. But I think this is interesting because the weekly R1, weekly resistance 1, that would be the top of a consolidating market, is overlapping the monthly. So I think it would be fabulously interesting if it did this. Right? I think maybe it's possible that a lot of people maybe got short pretty early. They sold it off 110, and that's that. And I think they would get knocked out if it made another high. Okay, so I think it's just interesting that we have a cluster there, and I would make note of it. Okay, the next cluster obviously is monthly R2, weekly R2. If we're up here, let's say at the end of the week, you have to take profit, in my humble opinion. If you're bullish, monthly, okay, and weekly R2. R2 is the aggressive target. If you find yourself in a monthly, weekly R2 cluster, if you don't take profit, you're not using pivot points, you might as well just delete them. Okay? It's sort of like driving your new Ferrari but refusing to use the brakes. I don't use brakes. Well, you should probably not drive your Ferrari. Yeah, brakes. I don't believe in brakes. All right, so anyways, that's interesting. Now, if you are a bear on this and you sold at 110, you're biting your fingernails now after all that, right? Well, what do we have going on here? Price action currently is lower, low, well, not a lower low, but lower high, then a lower low, then a lower high, okay, then a lower low, then a lower high, then a lower low. Okay, so even if it comes up for a while, you shouldn't panic, right? But the one issue is if it comes back to the MR1, That's 100% retracement of the last move. I wouldn't call that the most bearish price action in the world, right? So moving on to a 15-minute chart on the same scenario, remember I said you couldn't sell here? Well, what question does that beg? Where do you sell? Your sell zone should be kind of in here. Okay. And so you wouldn't sell at the cluster, but if you found yourself up here, then you're going to look for a new short. On this time frame, though, it predicts a double bottom, doesn't it? Why on the 15-minute chart would that pullback, even though it's price action bear looking for an extension lower, what is countering that plan? See, like, again, price action, Fibonacci, everyone would be saying lower low, right? But what is disagreeing with that setup? Not the pivot. We know it's there, okay, but that doesn't predict the bottom, and it doesn't predict anything. It just tells you that's essential. The 55, thank you, Manny. The 55 up in there would be the one in control. The 55 EMA, as you can see, it's kind of here. So that's probably a pullback to the 55, which is inside that sell zone. Okay? So let me draw it this way now. We get our little price action play, pull back into here, beautiful sell zone. But the 55 is saying, hey man, there's less bears in the market than there used to be. And we're more likely to double bottom at support. Well, where's support? Now the pivot kicks into play. Okay? Now you see it? So that could be very interesting because let's say it goes up, we sell it, it comes down, then what? It's going to come up even higher. And that's not that bad actually if you're a bear, but you should just understand where you are in the cycles. This is still a sell zone. So I think what might happen, is we get ourselves in a range. Even if it pokes its head up to the monthly R1, it's still rangy to me. And I think it's fair to feel like the market really hasn't decided what to do based on the 16th of December and what's happened and what are we going to do until then, right? We got 9 days until the Fed meeting, and so how do we want to play it? How are we going to position ourselves? I don't think those decisions have really been made by large players, right? No, Mark, I got out before the NFP, okay? And I wouldn't mind waiting for a double top before a short. Because actually, if you were at the NFP event with me, my resistance wasn't 110, it was like 110.50 and then 112.50 or something. So I never hit my mark. Okay, but I am short Swiss franc. Okay, as far as new trades and stuff. Okay, but so anyways, we could just be in a great consolidation and then wait for all this new information, all this new news coming in. After the video I did on the calendar, we know this is a great trading week, and maybe we pop and drop off that news, right? So so anyways, on this time frame, this is bearish. What about a different time frame? Okay. So what I was saying is even if it makes a short-term high, maybe it ranges on us, right? But what if the move does that? So let's say on the smaller time frame, we kind of come up, hit the 8, come down, hit the weekly, right? Come up here, which I showed you on the short term would be a higher high, but not necessarily a breakout. Then we hit the 21. Then down to the monthly central. But then you still have that as a problem, right? These types of trades I get really itchy on. It never feels comfortable. So anyway, so I drag the resistance around, and and we clearly have both pivot points, both the weekly central and the monthly central are very big support zones. So do what you want to do. Those are zones you should not short in, but if you want to be a bull, there's zones you can plan bullish trade plans on. Okay? So like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing this go up to 112. You know, why not? Take out a few more positions, okay? And, maybe we reduce like this. Janet Yellen raises interest rates in 9 days and says what? That they want to raise interest rates again in the future, slowly and cautiously based on solid data, but they plan on definitely doing it again soon, in the next 3 to 6 months. And she tells the market to price in another one. Strong. Okay? So right? So there's going. No, I don't think so, Kevin. Really? Wow. Yeah, I don't think so. Really? But that's different points of view. Some people really have interesting opinions about the Fed, but I think she's doing fine. So, anyways, so that's Euro USD, and it's 8:30 in the morning. So why don't we call it a day? And I'll see you tomorrow at Forex.Today. Will you be here? Cool. I'll put everything on the website. It'd be great, wonderful if you could leave a comment. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Cheers.